Here are 43 harsh truths about online coaching, delivered in signature, finest quality knitwear. So you've clicked on this video, which means that you've given your consent, and I've thrown the net wide to make sure that I offend as many people as possible. So let's go. Number 1, you know what to do. You just find excuses to avoid doing the work. You delay your launch, you say that you don't like social media, you claim that your program isn't quite perfect yet or that your life's too busy, and you spend 20 hours procrastinating on 20-minute tasks. These are all forms of self-sabotage, and while you're sat thinking about it, another coach is riding off into the sunset because they got out of their own way, just like Toby, like Doug, like Dom, like Carly. Number 2, your offer is so boring it puts your leads into a coma. What you offer needs to actually solve their problem in a way that appeals to them. Simple. Number 3, nobody cares about your mental health. Everyone struggles with something, and if you want to wear that as a badge of honor on your bio, like, be my guest, but if you use it as a reason to treat those around you poorly or to neglect your clients, then maybe you're not medically fit to be a coach. 4, when you say that you were burned by other mentors, you sound like the person who says that online coaching is a scam because they didn't follow the diet and therefore didn't lose weight. And this becomes more and more true the more mentors that you think you've been burned by. So there's a suspicious common denominator here. 5, you are not as good a coach as you think you are. If you were, then the results would follow. The world is a meritocracy, and if you add enough value to people around you, then you get enough value back. But don't confuse that for build it and they will come. That's a comforting lie that you use to avoid doing any marketing. The value that you add also has to be lead-facing. So your content, your ads, your messaging. 6, this is making me feel very Italian. Saying I work with busy professionals is like a child's impression of what they think an adult with money looks like. Nobody describes themselves as a busy professional. Everyone is busy, and most people describe themselves as professional, so it's a non-definition. 7, if you have your qualifications or your phone number in your email signature, you're probably broke. And if it says CEO, head of marketing, head of operations, head of sales, and founder, it's very clear that it's a one-man band and you're a willy. 8, you're worried about outsourcing and automation, and you think of yourself as a big dick business owner with CEO in the email signature, but you're not even VAT registered. Then you need to stop chasing labels and do some work. The CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, said, "No task is beneath me. I used to clean the toilets in the office." And that mindset has allowed him to ride all the way up to the top. It's a fine line between keeping your ego in check and applying leverage in your business. If you are not where you want to be, it's because you are not the person that you need to be to get that result. In other words, you have to become the person before you can get the result. You get the business that you're capable of handling, not the business that you want. So your business is a reflection of your personal growth. And so your personal growth sets the ceiling for your business growth, and you can't cheat the system. You can't jump past that. Being in shape because you enjoy training doesn't make you disciplined, and it doesn't make you morally superior to your clients who are fighting different battles. 11, if you want everything spelled out for you, it's because you're returning to a child state where everything is safe and predictable and spoon-fed to you. But that attitude will not serve you in growing an online business. 12, if you haven't made any efforts yourself to get clients, then signing up with a mentorship is just procrastination. 13, only you think that your level 42 kettlebell qualification means something. Congratulations on that, but no one else cares. 14, if you think that ads don't work because you tried pressing boost post on a bathroom mirror selfie, then you are a verified dingus, I'm afraid. Ads just get eyeballs, so it's what you're sending the ad to that matters. 15, you think that your logo is really cool. No one else does. Show your face in your bio and smile. People are working with you, not Amplify, Apex, fitness and nutrition services. 16, you say that you hate posting content, but really you're just allergic to work, because you also hate running ads or speaking to leads or speaking to clients or doing your operations. 17, you think you need more leads, but you haven't spoken to the 500 or 1,000 leads that have chosen to follow you, that have opted in to say, I want to hear more from this person. And the reason is because you're scared. 18. Or you think that you're above speaking to leads because you're a big dick CEO with more important things to do, but 0 clients. 19. You make fun of people who want to get shredded in 28 days, but you also want to make a 10K month in 90 days. 20. You send an inquiry to mentors that says something like, I want proof that your system works for left-handed salsa instructors in Peru who eat exclusively mangoes, thinking that that's doing your due diligence. But really, it's because you know that nobody has a case study that specific, which gives you an easy way to go, must be a scam, it couldn't possibly work for me. The global principles of marketing and business operations couldn't possibly work for little old, unique me. 21. If you're terrified of failing, then you're already failing. Fear of failure is just failure in itself, just slowly. And the only way to guarantee failure is to never get started. This is kind of unconscious self-sabotage that's disguised as endless preparation. 22, you're really excited about the app that you're building, which you're not actually building. You've been outreached by an agency who've charged you $15K to white label something, but you have no clients and you have no way of getting clients, but you think that once the app arrives, my life will be sorted. And you're putting everything else on hold until that happens. So what you think you need to start online coaching is apps and qualification and fancy website and logo and all that stuff. What you actually need is to just get started with the boring, simple stuff. 23, saying, oh yeah, I know what the propane guys are about. I tried a 14-day challenge and it didn't work. Or I tried sales calls and it didn't work. It's like saying I went to the gym once and it didn't work. Like, there are some people who smash it on their first challenge, like Phoebe, who made 36K on her first launch. But sometimes you might need to do it a couple of times and tweak and troubleshoot until it works. And then when it does work, it compounds and it works better and better and better for years to come. And then your Stripe graph looks a bit like Toby's. 24, looking for a done-for-you agency if you're doing less than 20K recurring monthly revenue is because you don't back yourself to do it yourself and you think that it'll solve all of your problems. Honestly, if that's the mindset that you're in, give up, go and get a job. Because wanting someone else to generate all the leads for you and feed them to you is learned helplessness. And I don't mean that in a tongue-in-cheek way or whatever. Like, I genuinely think you'd be better off in a job with employment where all of the structures are kind of laid out for you. I've spoken to people who say, I want to be an online coach, but I don't want to do any of the ads or the marketing or the operations. And will you coach the clients for me as well? Like, basically, will you do it all for me because I'm a baby? That is the passive, permission-seeking mentality that would fit you right in a massive company like McDonald's or something where all the SOPs are very clearly laid out and there's the ultimate safety. But running an online business, being an online coach, requires that you build some of the skill sets yourself and that you think for yourself before you just immediately outsource because you're scared. 25. If you want 30 clients in 90 days, that's great. But if you're not a good enough coach to retain them and to keep them, then even if somebody handed you 30 clients right now, they would slip through your fingers. So step 1 is to become the coach that deserves 30 clients and then everything else falls into place. 26. Everyone can tell that you're using ChatGPT for your content. When all your posts start with embark on your fitness journey and it's got 12 emojis, it's pretty transparent. 27. You've probably not been shadow banned. There might be another reason why your content isn't gaining traction. 28. We all know that you aren't looking for just 5 men who want to lose fat. 29. You're going to have to do some work. Sometimes we speak to people who haven't made as much traction as they'd like, and they say something like, oh, I've been working really hard. I've done at least 10 hours a week on this for 6 weeks. If you approached any other job with the same mentality as that, you'd be fired within a week. 30. You tell yourself stories like, oh, I'm bad with tech, but you want to run an online business. So that might be a little bit of a hurdle. Most of the time when someone says, I don't know how to do XYZ with tech, it's an emotional thing. It's not really a technical solution. You have ChatGPT, you can screen share with it and talk to it verbally. It just could not be easier to get support and fixes for this stuff. 31, you will have to give more value than you get. And that's actually a great gift because then you can act fully in service. Take a look at this video from Spencer on how he got 10 clients in 10 days by shifting his mindset to this.
Essentially, I think the big thing is I've just been working really hard at trying to build trust with people. And in a way, literally just giving away as much free value as I can with the time that I have by email and then by helping people in DMs and stuff like that. Because there was a time where when I was really struggling to get clients, And I was just like, screw this. I'm just going to help people for free in the DMs. Like, I'm going to do video reviews, and just whatever it turns into, it turns into. And then I instantly got like 10 clients within like 10 days. Because I was just like, that definitely was a mindset thing. Like, I wasn't trying to like sneak my way into a sale or like had the mindset.
You have nothing to lose with that approach, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so it was just so weird, because it was just so weird how quick of a turnaround it was. Like, it was instantly like, wow, I have a lot more money coming in now. But I was just 100% all in, and I'm like, I'm going to help people for free. I don't even care.
You have no idea how happy that makes me, Spencer, hearing that. It's the true abundance mindset that it's just like, hey, I'm just going to give value, turn up, do what I can, get people results, and then the world has no choice but to reward you for that. Compared to people that go around in this kind of scarcity mindset of like, what can I extract from the world around me, and that, you know, they never get anywhere, and they wonder why their landing page isn't converting, or they're not getting clients, and it's like, it's because the whole framing of the problem is broken. So the fact that you were just like, fuck it, I'm just going to provide as much value as possible, and that's so cool to see.
Yeah, it definitely shifted my whole perspective around marketing in general. So like, even when I write copy and stuff, like, I try to have that mindset, because I think people can definitely see through it. Like, when you're like really trying to be like, buy this, I think people can see it for sure.
100%. Yeah, man, that's brilliant. 32, copying someone else's funnel without understanding the principles that drive it will fail. It's kind of like doing Chris Bumstead's workout and then wondering why you don't look like Chris Bumstead. The context matters. 33, if you're not willing to speak to leads or potential clients yourself, then what do you think changes once they've paid you money? Why do you think you deserve to coach them? You need to start treating potential clients as people to serve rather than people to try and extract value from. 34, you will fail spectacularly multiple times before you succeed. You'll look stupid and it'll be cringe, but that's the price of admission. Remember when you told your clients that one? A model that I really like is the creativity pipeline. This is where you've got the fresh water right at the back of the pipe, but you've got to clear out all the shit before the fresh water can come through. And the only way to do that is to just ship. Just pump out volume, pump out content, pump out ads, work with people, and you will just get better as a result, because the good stuff, the gems, are hiding behind all of that. 35. Being emotionally fragile to those setbacks will kill your business faster than any external factor. Resilience with this stuff is not optional, but it's very trainable. 36. The answer to most of your business problems is usually simple and doesn't involve a new app. 37. There's 2 reasons why you might have imposter syndrome. The first one is because you're not very good at what you do. And if that's the case, then maybe you're supposed to feel that way. Narrow your scope of practice until you feel safe, and practice what you preach, and then the imposter syndrome will go away. The second reason is that you're keeping yourself safe and broke by telling yourself that story. I love the story of the monk with this, where a man went to a monk and said, I've got this specialist knowledge and I can help people achieve something, but no, I'm worried about how I'll come across and if I'll look stupid and all of that stuff. And the monk said, you owe it to those people to serve them with your gift. And if those stories are stopping you, then you're being selfish. Most coaches overthink their niche because it feels like progress without the risk of actual action. And the quickest way to get your niche dialed in is to start speaking to people and start working with people. Your niche concept only needs to be good enough to get your first client, and then it'll develop and iterate. 39. Most of the stuff that you're telling your clients is the stuff that you should do for your own business. The same principles that work for physical fitness work for business. Consistency, progressive overload, and not making excuses. And the things that directly increase your profits are also the monotonous, boring ones. And so the game is, how can I convince myself to get the blinkers on and do those things on repeat until things take off?
You decide what you do, what you don't do, what you pay attention to, what things you add in, what things you take away. And you could easily spend months, years doing things that don't really do anything, don't really like make a change to anything in the business, but they kind of feel productive, and that's what's so insidious about them. Like growing an Instagram following, like most social media, in fact, It's kind of designed to keep you in this game where you chase engagement and comments and likes and followers and all that sort of stuff. It's very easy to forget under the surface. The reason I began doing this in the first place was to generate an income. What is my income? And that you realize those two things are very detached. So if you can find a thing that works and you can kind of like lock that in place, you're like, right, I know when I do that, I get leads coming in. And I know when I get leads coming in, I make this many sales. You're like, right, shut all of the windows, lock all the doors, put me in this room with just a laptop. I'm just going to do that. It's just really the only chance you have, I think, of making something like this work.
41, your clients can sense when you're not confident in your own program. If you don't believe in what you're selling, then why should they buy it? Again, this comes down to building the stack of evidence in yourself and in your clients that you can do what you say you would do. And if not, narrow your scope. There's no shame in that. In the world of wild claims and guarantees, actually it's more credible if you can say, hey, I can help people with this specific problem. 42, if I'm wrong about you with truth number 17 and you really don't have any leads, it's because you're either not letting anybody know about what you do, or when you do, it's abundantly clear that you can't help them. So work through these milestones. 42, often people will say that they want something, but they don't act like it. Their calendar doesn't match their goals. So for example, you spoke to a client and you said, what's really important to you? And they were like, big biceps. That's like the number one important thing in my life. And you go, okay, cool. What does your training program look like? And they're hitting biceps twice a week. You'd be like, right, so if the men came with the guns and the coats, would you still be training biceps twice a week? Is that really the most that you could do to get this goal if it's the most important thing in your life? And do you know everything that there is to know about growing your biceps? Or if not, do you think there's someone out there who could help you get there faster? And why haven't you hired them? So the same thing applies for your business. Quite often we'll see this where someone's goal is to get online coaching clients, but their calendar looks like breathwork, cold shower, journaling, meditating, electrolytes, fiddling with their spreadsheet, hiring a designer to make a new website, designing their logo, comparing coaching apps, getting another qualification. None of this stuff is going to get you clients. And number 43, well done for making it this far, how you buy is how you sell. So if you think course bros and mentors are all grifters and scams, meanwhile you expect people to pay for your high-ticket program where you adjust their macros, then there's a disconnect and that's going to transmit in the way that you sell. If you're a coach and you don't have a coach yourself, then you're signaling to the world that you see no value in what you do. If you're like, oh, I don't want to have to pay for information, then you're just saying that you don't have any respect for your time. So if you see money as energy, then the way that you spend that energy impacts how it's filtered when it comes back to you. When we got over this one, we saw the reflection in our revenues. We've spent over 400K on coaching and mentorships and education and stuff. Always gets an ROI. I've always found it funny that as a society, we have no problem paying $9,000 a year on a massive loan for university, but we're suspicious of independent education with a verified ROI. For example, our program is to give you everything that you need to get 30 clients paying £100 plus per month. That's potentially generating 3 to 10K per month forever. I don't know of a single financial instrument that could get that kind of return. So if you do find something, please let me know and we'll wrap up the business. But ultimately, by investing in education, you are upgrading your engine. If anything here resonates, I've got a practical workshop on money mindset from our Inner Circle event, and the link is in the description below.